So, OpenAI recently put out the latest or the newest upgraded version of the GPT-3 or GPT models, which earlier was GPT-3, and the newest one is called ChatGPT. This one came out in late November and it has been gaining a lot of attention, and it seems like it's almost, I guess, depending on what part of the internet you follow, it has been breaking the internet and actually surprising a lot of people because it's basically a language model that is really, really good actually. It can have conversations with you, but the main idea is that you prompt it for, you basically send a prompt and you might ask it for something and it will basically reply to you with a bunch of like information. It can write essays for you. On this website, on what they've advertised, they've shown, so for example, you can say this code is not working like I expect, and you can like show the code. You can like paste in the code and say like I want to do this but it's not doing that, and so what am I doing wrong? So instead of you having to dig through documentation and find out like what you're doing wrong, which a lot of the times what you have to do is, in order to read the documentation, first you have to figure out how the documentation is structured, and you have to like read through like the philosophy of how whatever like API you're using was created and what are the constructs and all these things. I mean, I wouldn't say that you don't need that anymore. Now this exists, but the most interesting part about this is that the AI understands those things. It and the reason for that is basically in this language model, when they were training it, they fed to the model all this like all the data in the world, basically like all the articles that you can read, everything from the internet, wikis. I don't exactly know what they fed into it, but they fed into it like a whole bunch of stuff, like textbooks as well, I think. And this is the result of that, and they've made it publicly available for people to use, and I've been kind of experimenting with it. You can say something like, if you have a homework that in which you have to write an essay about, say, Abraham Lincoln, which contains 5 paragraphs, you can literally say to the AI, hey, can you write me an essay about Abraham Lincoln that contains 5 paragraphs? And it will go boom, 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 5 paragraphs within 15-20 seconds, which is pretty crazy. Another one I tried is what is a vector in linear algebra, and you get this great explanation. It is pretty verbose, so like it answered here in 4 paragraphs. Maybe let's try something else where I say, what is a vector in linear algebra? Please answer in 1 sentence. In linear algebra, a vector is a mathematical object that represents a quantity with both magnitude and direction and can be represented as a line segment or arrow in n-dimensional space. How good is that? And another interesting thing that happened is I was trying to actually ask the AI about some some documentation or some like function or something. I don't remember what exactly I was coding, and so it sent me something, and then I tried it, and then it was wrong, and then I say, hey, it looks like you made a mistake here. And when you point out a mistake to this AI, it says, hey, okay, I'm sorry for making this mistake, and it makes the correction, which is so mind-blowing. And I've read some conversations on like Reddit and stuff. Other people have had this experience too, which is pretty insane. But the real topic of this video actually is that I had this idea where I would just gave it a prompt, this prompt basically, write me some code in JavaScript that can create a Telegram bot and take messages and send them to the ChatGPT API, and then receive the responses and send them back. So I don't know if you're familiar, but Telegram is basically a messaging app which is pretty famous. I mean, a lot of people use it. It's pretty good with the performance, and it has a good communities. You can create groups, yada yada yada. You can look it up. But at this point, it's very famous, so most people will know about it. And you can create bots in Telegram. So what you can do is go to the Botfather account. You can search for Botfather here, and you can create a bot. So with a chatbot, you can basically send it messages, and you can have it perform different functions, whatever you want to do. Like you could have a bot that's like trading stocks for you or something, and then just like reporting statistics here. and they're basically unlimited use cases for a bot. So I had this bot that I'd been using for like different things before, and I'd shut it down. But then I thought, hey, what if I made this bot send messages to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT has an API, and then get the responses back, because these responses are generated by a particular model that took millions of dollars to train, and I cannot just train this at home. Well, you can, but you need a lot of computational power and a lot of data to be able to come up with these responses. But these responses are crazy. Like, why do you think Gus died in Breaking Bad? And it's giving all this like reasoning. Like, I didn't even read it, but this is crazy. Like, okay, his actions put him at odds with Walter White and the rest of his crew, creating dangerous enemies in the process. Gus's death was ultimately a result of decisions he has made. Bro, this guy understands how humanity works. Like, can you believe this? Anyway, so the best part about this is, so this prompt generated me some code within like 10 seconds, and I copy pasted the code into my text editor. And initially it wasn't actually working. Like, there were some lines, and I was getting like some error, and then I took the error and then I put it back here, and I'm like, hey, I'm getting this error. Dude, it started like reasoning with me about why I could have got the error. Like, it's like actually if you were talking to like another developer who's been like working on this thing, which is so crazy. And then but well, it wasn't actually able to help me fix that error though. I had to do some debugging on my own, because it was giving me some responses which were not exactly correct. But honestly, if you have like 50 lines, these 50 lines of starting code, which is like, I only made minor changes to this to ultimately actually get the running version of the bot. And yeah, I had to just debug the responses a little bit, and then I had to make some changes to the body, and boom. You put your token, your API key. You need 2 API keys basically, and it tells you here as well. It says, yeah, you need your API key for ChatGPT. And basically how you get it is you go to the ChatGPT main webpage, and then you go API, and you go to the documentation, and you go introduction. This actually took me a while to find, because it doesn't say, none of these pages here say, hey, this is the API key. You have to actually like dig in a little bit, and you go to the API keys page, and then you just like generate a new key here. You throw that key into the string here to assign that to the variable, and then you can use that. And the second key you need, oh sorry, this was the ChatGPT. The second key that you need is the Telegram API key from Botfather, and I will actually link Botfather in the description, so you can just follow that. And if you want to create a Telegram bot for yourself, you can use Botfather to generate a new API key for your Telegram bot within like a minute. Yeah, you just go and basically generate it using their bot. And that it pretty much sums it up. I mean, it's mind-blowing that I was able to do this so fast, because this would have taken me normally maybe at least a couple of hours if I was really focused. But honestly, like, it's not even that easy to stay focused for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. And it's pretty crazy that I was able to just generate this and make a few corrections, and in under half an hour I just generated this bot. So I see a lot of potential for this. There's so much potential in the coding field, you could say, that developers will be able to use this as an assistant, and it could also be an assistant for so many other things. Like, it could be an assistant in probably the legal field. Like, it could read like a whole bunch of like legal documentations and all, like, not documentation, like case data from like 100 years, and then it could like make suggestions about like how to handle a new case or something, which is pretty crazy. So a lot of new ideas, a lot of new stuff happening. I just wanted to make this, well, I don't know if it's a quick video anymore, but I was super excited about this, and I thought that I'd share this with you all.